Kids have a penchant for being creepy, which is yet another reason why so many children are involved in horror movies. But it's not just children on the silver screen that are a bit macabre. When it comes to artwork, kids tend to act on instinct. They draw memories or portraits of their families, and sometimes they draw things that give us goosebumps. We've compiled 5 of the creepiest children's drawings we've ever come across. So, without further ado, let's begin. Number 5. Pretty girl drawing. We all remember the days of elementary school crushes, right? You prod said crush with pencils, play tag, hold hands, and that's where the romance reaches its peak, right? But that's not the case for this young man. He's so infatuated with the girl who sits next to him in class that simply staring at her just won't suffice anymore. He must have a part of her to keep with him always. Somehow, the kid starts to believe it's acceptable if he just starts cutting off pieces of her hair to keep. Does he have a couple of strands he keeps in his pocket, or has he sniped off enough hair to make a ponytail? Either way, it's definitely creepy. Perhaps the teacher will eventually notice and save the girl the embarrassment of eventually becoming bald thanks to her classmate. Or perhaps the teacher saw his braggy drawing about his dazzling new collection and will contact his parents. One can only hope. Number 4. The tomb drawing. A lot of kindergarten and first grade teachers like to give the impression that their students will live for a very long time. I'm sure when a teacher handed out this sheet asking what each student will be doing in 100 years, he or she expected responses such as playing with the cat or knitting a sweater. But alas, young Graham was in the room. Being wise beyond his years, Graham realized that he would likely be dead come 100 years' time, but would death actually stop him? Never. Graham had other plans. Graham depicted a cemetery with tombstones. To the left is his very own coffin. Graham, the stick figure, is emerging from the coffin, dropping what appears to be blood. And there, above the drawing, is the teacher's question. What will you be doing when you're 100 years old? Graham replied at the bottom, breaking out of my tomb. Number 3. He is risen drawing. Now, upon first glance at this picture, one can easily make a couple of assumptions. At the top and left of the page is a drawing of a cross. Below it is the sentence, "He is risen." The child went on to repeat this line 3 times below that as well. Someone could easily see this drawing on a fridge somewhere. Clearly, the child who drew it is a fan of the big guy upstairs, but let's take a step back. If the child who drew this was thinking about Jesus or the angels, wouldn't they descend upon the earth from above? The only figure that would have to rise up is, in fact, Satan, or one of his many demonic minions. So now you have to ask yourself, did the kid who made this just have his or her lines crossed, or were they speaking of the Prince of Darkness? We may never know. Number 2. Mommy's grave drawing. Father-son relationships can be challenging at times. Oftentimes the father will subconsciously put pressure on his son to take the path he wasn't able to, and oftentimes a son will do anything to make his father proud. But the father and son depicted in this drawing seem to have a very agreeable relationship. A little too agreeable. No, we're not discussing incest. This drawing shows the boy and his father dancing, literally dancing, on top of the boy's mother's grave. They're standing on top of a corpse, and they're grooving and jiving in a congratulatory manner. Several questions come to mind. Was this woman Medusa incarnate, or was she murdered by her husband? And what kind of a family life did this kid have to make him react to his mother's death by dancing? It seems no matter how you swing this is one creepy drawing, and one creepy glimpse into some random boy's horror-inducing life. Number 1. Dear Valerie drawing. Sometimes a school crush will result in creepy habits, such as the boy who collected hair, but other times those crushes take a very, very dark turn. Enter a young man who's sick to death of little Valerie's attention. It would seem that some girls simply can't take a hint. So the boy decides to make his intentions clear by making a drawing for Valerie. At the top is a message, "Dear Valerie, get out of my life." The words themselves are brutal, but nothing compared to the drawing that accompanies the text. It clearly depicts a little girl standing. Her stick figure body is headless. We see the little girl's head on the floor looking very unhappy. Between the girl and her body is a picture of an axe. To add insult to injury, the boy decided to mark the paper with dabs from the marker, as if to signify the splattering of blood. Love hurts. And there you have 5 creepiest children's drawings ever. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and share it, and if you haven't already, subscribe down below to get notified almost every single day with new videos from Top 5's finest. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we are